Okay, what are the values at Acton? We have 5 core values that we strive to emulate and embody as a team, a working team, and that we share openly with parents and families because we feel like it's vital they understand what we're aiming to become, as well as to see if it aligns with your family values. When we were setting out to figure these values out, we looked at our team members that really just embodied who we wanted to become, who we wanted to build as a community. And we also looked to the kind of results, even though I don't love that word or that idea in this environment. What kind of results were they getting? And the kind of results that these incredible individuals were getting were that the heroes in their studios were felt empowered. And you could see that in their actions and their words. But it wasn't just empowered, it was kind of like empowered with a purpose. And that they were working harder than they previously had been. That they had greater enjoyment in being at school than they previously had been. That they were involved in building a community and a culture that was healthy and thriving and aiming towards our huge goal of fueling the heroes with the idea that they're a genius. They're a hero on a mission to find their calling and change the world, that they have something big to contribute, that they have gifts and talents that are divinely placed in them to be discovered and then utilized to the benefit of the world, as well as to have great meaning and satisfaction in their living. So the people we are looking for were able to embody these values, which is incredible to me when I just described that. It's very ethereal, kind of like this idea of a special world and you're a special person and you're a hero. But they were really able to take this idea and help the heroes in their studios begin to see themselves as someone with a mission to fulfill, with an exciting life to live, that didn't want to stay stagnant. They wanted to move forward with some purpose and some meaning. Okay, so all that to say, we looked at them and we identified these character traits that have become our values. And we have an acronym to help us remember them. So it's really easy for our team and parents to remember what our values are. And it is, I think it's an acronym, whatever it is. We have a letter that signifies each of them, and it spells out Mickey, M-I-C-C-I. And the M starts us off, which what we feel is the most important yet hardest to describe is the word meekness. And we fail forward with confidence and humbly love it. We love that we get to fail. We love that this is an environment where it's okay to stumble as long as we get back up. And a humility that comes with knowing we're all just humans. We're all just somewhere on our journey trying to figure it out. And if we bring that grace with us to this community, to each other, we're actually all going to do better. We're going to rise because failure and mistakes don't come with shame. They come with an opportunity to learn. And it's very easy to say that, and to quote Thomas Edison and the light bulbs, but it's actually quite hard to embody that and to create a culture where it's real, where we actually feel less cankered. That's the word I'm going to say. Less held back by our failings, our weaknesses, and our mistakes. Because together as a community, we know we're just human. Oftentimes we say we are building this plane while we're flying it. And that not only refers to this being an education revolution, that we are trying to figure this out together, and we're going to move forward powerfully. We're not just going to sit back, but it also refers to each of us as individuals and what happens in the studio. And they're going to try a contract. They're going to build the plane while they fly it. They're going to come up with the words for a contract and try and live it as they're coming up with it. So it just gives permission for all of us to be human, own our mistakes, and then move forward with a different strategy to become better. So we often say we fail early, often and cheaply. And if you think about your child's school as a training ground for life, you want somewhere where they can fail early, often, and cheaply. And this is the best training ground because they actually get to fail. There are tools they can use to bounce back. They get the opportunity to create their own strategies after they do fail, to reflect on the choices they've made and make a different plan moving forward. Acton is a training ground for life, and we partner with you as a parent because so is your home. Our goal as parents and here at the school is that we transfer responsibility from our shoulders completely to our child's. And that doesn't happen on accident. Well, sometimes it does, but ideally we would do it very intentionally and very purposefully to equip them to live an amazing life. And we just partner with you in that and really embody that here at the school. Under the title of Meekness, that's our call as leaders, as parents, to show up with a belief in the children and a belief that mistakes are just a springboard to greater success. So that's kind of the idea of meekness. Okay, so M is meekness. I, integrity. This is such a big word. Here's how we describe it. Do what you know, take 100% ownership, do real with each other, and be honest. That's how we define integrity. And if you've ever gone through a value creation exercise, you know it's really hard to choose a word because we all have our own meaning of what the word means, but then to succinctly say what it is. We didn't be very succinct on this one, but the idea that when we show up as people of integrity, as a person and as a community, then we do what we know we should do. And when we fall short of that, we know we should admit it and commit to something different. So do what you know. When you don't, fix it. Take 100% ownership. This is probably the greatest lesson anyone can leave Acton with, is that your life is your life and you have the power to change it. And your choices are your choices. The words you say are your choices. Your thoughts, words, beliefs, and actions, they're all yours. We want our heroes to take ownership, all of it, especially when we make mistakes, because someone who can own their mistakes in integrity gets better, and someone who refuses to see their part in a problem stays stagnant. And we want them to fulfill their calling. So finding that ownership is the truest expression of integrity, and that bleeds out into all other areas of integrity in relationships and, in other relationships. All right, so take 100% ownership. Do real with each other. We work to address issues, have those hard conversations, because that's what a thriving, healthy community is built off of. And most importantly, we practice that here at Acton so that in your home, when your child is an adult, especially an adult, but also in your home, they're able to have a conversation with their spouse or their boss or their brother and fix broken relationships or make sure a relationship doesn't ever get broken because we're having the hard conversations. And in doing that, we give someone else permission to do the same. So we do real with each other. It's one of the hardest things, but when we're in integrity with ourselves, which is a whole different thing, but how we show up in those conversations matters. And that's something we practice here at school. How do you have a hard conversation in a respectful way that actually builds the relationship instead of breaks it? And be honest. That one, it's just what it is. We just have to say it. Part of integrity is being honest. Another way that we kind of flip that is if you are feeling a need to be sneaky or you see someone being sneaky, we're not in integrity. So sneakiness is one of the easiest way to describe when integrity is off, but it doesn't feel like it's super off. So be honest. Opposite of that is don't be sneaky. Same, I guess. All right, M-I-C. Our first C is the word courage. This one's pretty self-explanatory. We say trust and lead for goodness sake. Have the courage to do that. That's what courage means here. And to dream big and move forward. So have the courage to believe in yourself, to believe you can change the world, to have big dreams and then work towards them. That takes a lot of courage. And it's often not modeled very well in our society because being practical also feels very important. But we lean into that idea of courage and courage to do the hard things, courage to trust others, to trust yourself, courage to lead, the courage to have big dreams. The next C, curiosity. Kind of self-explanatory for a school, but we had to put it in there. It could be very overshadowed by some of these kind of heavier values, but curiosity is the gateway to all of the other things. Even developing these other values really starts with a curiosity. How is this person so successful? What values do they develop? And this asking questions and curiosity fuels all of it. And so often traditional education squashes curiosity. I'm not saying it's the teachers. I'm not saying it's the administrators. I'm saying the system doesn't always encourage curiosity. So we keep it in our values to just help us make sure we are never overlooking this as one of our key principles that we are committed to. Here's how we define it. Seek to discover, live in awe and wonder, adopt a non-judgmental perspective. And I'll just spend a minute on that part of it. When we are curious, we aren't judging. And so developing a mindset where we don't jump to conclusions, where we have an open frame for other possibilities, allows us to not only dream big and to accomplish things we or others don't think are possible. It also allows us to form relationships with people who are different than us and allows us to hold off judgment till we have good information. It's really having the courage to become a critical thinker. Critical seems like a judgmental word, but you know what I mean. Let's dig in. Let's ask questions. Let's examine something. What are other possibilities? And that is really helpful in learning, if we're just talking about learning in general and becoming a lifelong learner, but also, again, in that relational aspect of I am not connecting with that person, or actually I don't really like that person. I'm curious about them. I'm curious what's holding me back from that, and what can I do to reconcile that? How can I get to know them? What questions can I ask so that I can move forward well? That was kind of a random example, but that non-judgmental perspective helps us to be better learners and better people. The last ones, we have MICC, meekness, integrity, courage, curiosity. Last one is intentional growth. The way we describe it is we work to grow in all ways, always. So we're just here to grow. We do it intentionally. We invite parents in to intentionally grow and fuel their own journey and their family. And so part of your responsibilities as a parent, if you come to Acton, is every session you have a parent badge to do. And you have a meeting with your child, a council meeting with your child and with your family, because we are going to intentionally, as a community, take steps to grow our own life, to grow our own knowledge, to grow our own skills. And as we do that, we're fueled and able to connect with one another. We gain skills as we're intentional about gaining skills. And we help you do that. We do that as a community, and that is one of the most vital skills and mindsets, values, I'll say it like that, a value for our young learners to pick up and take on as part of their identity is I'm a person who grows, and I'm intentionally growing, because otherwise, without intention, I may not grow, but I also may grow in a direction that actually isn't aligned with who I want to become and what's important to me. So, intentional growth. All right, those are our values. Those are the Mickey values: meekness, integrity, courage, curiosity, and intentional growth. If those values sound like part of a community that you want to be a part of, you want to explore those ideas, together with other like-minded families and bring them more fully, more intentionally into your home, Acton may just be the place for you. I encourage you to reach out to us. You can schedule a tour or come to one of our introduction meetings. And if you've already done that, then schedule a half-day visit for your child to come try out the studio, meet some of their new friends, and see if it fits and if it works for your family. And the beautiful thing about values is you know if your values align with ours or if ours align with yours pretty easily when you step in for a minute and try them on. And the other cool thing about values is they don't have to. Like, we completely honor that this is not for everyone. We are engaged in an education revolution, a societal revolution that we think will better prepare our children for the future and fuel families to be healthier and find more meaning in our relationship in the future. And that just isn't what everyone wants. And that's okay. So thank you for taking the time to ask the question and to listen about our values. Please reach out if you have any questions or you want to know more. That's it. That's the end.